Do you know how to Korea?
How to Korean?
How to Korea?
How to Korea?
Out of Korea.
How to Korea? This is How to Korea.
Okay, welcome to How to Korea. We are on episode number 10, and I'm James. This is Ian. And today we will be continuing a conversation from last time. A few things. Thank you for all the subscribers. We're up to 106 now. So
Finally broke 100.
yeah, finally broke 100
Yeah.
subscribers.
Also, shout out thanks to Villas. He helped us a lot.
Yeah, I heard what you did for us at Busan.
Yeah.
Thank you. Continue doing what you do, bro.
And
We
sorry for the
appreciate it.
people he harassed.
He what? Harassed?
He harassed them.
Well, they subscribed, so it wasn't really harassment if that's the case. As you may or may not know, we've been putting out some shorts. So we have some shorts in the pipeline as well. We're going to continue putting up shorts. And the idea behind it is we're going to show you previews of the episode that's coming up leading up to the shorts. And next week, what we're going to try, or this week rather, what we're going to try is just putting up 2 or 3 shorts on Saturday so you can take a look at it. And then we're also planning kind of like these medium episodes, about 5 to 10 minutes long. And it'll be a bit more information, a bit longer.
Like
and
a summary of the previous Saturday's episode.
Yeah. So that will be a recap of the previous week's episode. And then the shorts will be a preview of the future week's episode. And I think it's just to tailor to all sorts of people. I know everybody has different schedules, different times. And YouTube isn't really the best sometimes because you have to keep it open all the time when you want to listen.
Sure.
So we want to make sure we cater to all our listeners and just kind of play around with those settings, right?
Yeah, also for like the Instagram, you get your reels and all that stuff. But if you follow us on Instagram, then you'll be able to see the medium length videos on Instagram as
Can
well.
we post that on Instagram? 5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I think it's up to 15 maybe, right?
Yeah, I think there's a max, but yeah, you can do like 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We tried out the shorts. I think it's been about 2 weeks now since we tried the shorts, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the pajeon one, the kimchi-jeon, or the pancake.
The John, yeah.
Yeah, that one kind of popped off. And thank you for everybody who watched it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it popped off.
I don't know. Like the shorts are we're still trying to figure out the algorithm because some of them are a hit or a miss.
Yeah, and like YouTube kind of puts it on like its main feed.
Yeah.
But some just like start breaking through the barrier, and some just kind of like, eh.
Because the John one, it was slow, and then all of a sudden, at one point, it just skyrockets it.
Right. So when YouTube starts putting it on the shorts, like we
Yeah.
got like 400 views in like the first hour or something, as opposed to like we usually get like 30.
Yeah.
So that one kind of
Some of the videos we don't even get 400 views. Yeah.
No, we get like 2. I think our latest one we got 167. So 24. For our Hishik one. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So it's we're still trying to figure it out. But thank you everybody who watched it, who liked it. We got like 100 likes on that shorts too. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. I do want to address some of the comments that we saw. So Mo left a comment. Thank you, Mo. And we plan on having Mo here sometime next week, I think. We'll try to schedule that and make sure he's here.
Yeah.
But the next episode we're gonna actually be speaking a lot of Korean. So for all our foreign viewers, you can go ahead and try to see how much Korean you understand. And for our Korean viewers, I know a lot of you have been saying, I don't understand your podcast, so I can't watch it. So hopefully that addresses that. Also our mediums, or we're going to call them mediums, shorts, mediums, and longs. Podcast.
Episodes,
Yeah. Our shorts, our mediums, what I'm going to try to do is put English subtitles and Korean subtitles. So for all our Korean viewers out there, you can go ahead and try to watch that with the subtitles and maybe learn some English.
Yeah.
Hopefully, right?
Why not?
All right. So Mo actually left a comment about one of our podcasts, the one where we talked about where you need the documents to get your own cell phone.
Yes.
And one of the
No, it was your bank account.
Was it? No.
No, it was your bank account.
Was it?
Yeah. Because we were still debating on do you need your work contract to open up the bank account.
No, this one's about the student. Remember the student? You need like a student identification.
That's it, yeah.
Was it?
That was a bank, yeah.
Okay. So bank, when you were opening up the bank account, I think we talked about it maybe 2 podcasts ago. And Mo left a comment. He says, "Hi guys, I'm Mo." Yes, hi Mo. I can explain about Jehak and Jejik Sungmyeongsa. So The one that we talked about was 재학증명서, which was
That's
the
for the
student.
students one.
That's
Yeah.
for the
That's what we
student.
couldn't understand. Yeah.
Right, right, right. So the thing about Korean is like each letter in a word kind of has its own meaning because
Yeah.
it's from like a Chinese descent. So they all have their own meanings. So what he's saying is 제, which is the first letter, is a Chinese character meaning belonging. So it belongs to somebody, right? And hak is the Chinese character meaning school. So 재학 means you belong to a school.
Oh, like Hakyo, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
학교 hak, and then 제, I don't know. Yeah,
Belonging.
you belong, right? And then 직 is a Chinese character meaning company. So we have 재학증명서, which is a proof of identity showing that you go to school. And then we have 재직증명서, which is what you get from your employer.
Okay.
You usually need something like this if you're working, right? And that shows that you're employed in Korea. It's a document filled out by your director or your boss.
So it's not your contract?
No, it's different from
Is
your
it something
contract.
different?
It's like
Okay.
a file. It's like a form that your boss fills out, and and the form basically says yes, this person works here, right?
Okay.
It's like a legitimate thing. So if you're a student, you can use 재학증명서 because 학 for 학교. If you're an office worker, you can use 재직증명서 because you're an employee, right? So this document is often requested by Korean banks as it proves your affiliation. Smiley face. Thank you, Mo.
Thanks,
That was
Mo.
awesome. Yeah.
Lifesaver.
Yeah, and then one thing was going back to the pancake shorts. Two people left some comments, which is pretty cool. In Chile, it's sopaipillas when it rains, and sopaipillas kind of sounds like the flat pancakes. I'm gonna look it up right now. I've seen
Sopaipillas.
yeah sopaipillas. Sopaipillas.
Why do you say it like it's Spanish?
Because Chile uses
They do Spanish, right?
yeah. So
Uh,
here, I don't know if you guys can see it if I put it on the screen like this.
Sopaipillas.
That's a sopaipilla. And it looks like okay,
Pancake?
no, it's not a pancake. It's like a fried thing. So sopaipilla or kashanga is a kind of fried pastry and a type of quick bread served in several regions with Spanish heritage in the Americas. It's the diminutive of sopaipa, a word that entered Spanish from Aztecs. Bread soaked in oil. Yeah.
In Afrikaans, we just call that a vetkoek.
What's the origin of that word? Like
Fat cake.
a fat cake.
Fat cake. So it's the same thing as you take a bread dough
Yeah.
and instead of baking it, you
fry it.
You fry it.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you can slice it open and stuff it with whatever you want. We usually just do like beef minced.
It's kind of like you ever have a beef patty? That's an American thing, I think. It's like this yellow kind of like crust
Yeah.
basically, and inside there's beef filling. Beef patty. Yeah, but
That
we have
sounds
that
nice.
in America, and it's kind of like similar to that.
Yeah.
The last thing about this is the word is derived term from the Germanic word suppa, which means bread soaked in liquid. So it's actually soaked in oil, but
All right. Cool.
so awesome. Very very cool. Thank you for that fact. So similar, I guess it sounds like sopaipillas in Chile when it rains. Like how it sounds like John in Korea.
In the oil.
In
yeah,
the oil just
going
to
oil.
fry. Yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool. It's cool that different cultures have kind of like that association with
Yeah.
food and rain.
Humans and rain, dude. Humans and rain.
Dude, like, and you know, we're hardwired to like smell the bacteria in the soil as soon as the rain starts.
Do you know what the name for that is? When
You
it's
told me about
saturated?
that. No, what is
You
it?
forgot.
Yeah, I forgot. I always
Yeah.
forget that word.
It's called petrichor.
Petrichor.
Yeah.
Oh,
So petrichor is the smell that you get from rain falling down on dry earth. Yeah. It's two Australian scientists came up with that word.
does that smell happen as soon as as soon as the rain hits the ground? Does the smell automatically start coming up, or do you need like a certain amount of time before?
I'm not sure. I don't know, but I'm sure like as soon as there's like a couple of drops, then that vapor, not vapor.
It's like a gas from the ground.
Who knows?
Mhm.
Maybe it's like because it's so dry, it falls and it just gets absorbed quickly. Or maybe if it's like the ground is warm or something, maybe it evaporates and that smell escapes.
For
I
a
don't know.
second, I
I
almost
only know the
thought-
name for the thing. I don't know
the idea.
the
I thought
details.
it was like bacteria because you know bacteria has a certain scent, right? So when something gets wet, you get the smell of like mold and bacteria
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
kind of thing. So I thought it was kind of along those lines.
I don't
But
know.
yeah. All right, and then last shout out is to Carousel Ferris. Sorry, Cynthia Diaz. Thank you for the comment about Chile. Very interesting. And then Carousel Ferris. Haha, that's so cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Carousel Ferris, eh?
Carousel Ferris. That's actually a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
Carousel Ferris. But yeah, thank you for all these comments. Thank you for the views, and we'll keep chugging along, and hopefully we get some more shorts that are interesting to all our viewers, and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then, guys, for today's episode, we're going to be discussing a couple of things. First one, some article that caught our eye during the week, and then the next section of the podcast, we're going to be talking about how Korea is living in 2050 compared to other countries that still need to catch up in some areas.
What was the name of that person? Tamina Avera?
Aslanova.
Tamina Aslanova.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure if you guys haven't done so already, check out our Instagram, because Tamina
Aslanova.
Tamina _ Aslanova. I think.
Underscore.
Yeah.
Underscore Aslanova.
I think that was it. That was the full thing. Yeah. So check out her Instagram. She has some pretty interesting videos, and like they're all relatable if you live in Korea.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. But yeah. So do you wanna? What else are we talking about? Oh, that's what we're gonna cover today. Korea living in the future.
Well, I'm getting tired of saying we're gonna cover this and this and this and this, and then we don't
Just
even
never
get to
finish.
it. So
Oh.
let's just start with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea is today we're gonna talk about the article and how Korea is living in a futuristic
a
company.
couple of examples of how Korea is very advanced with like technology and stuff like that, as opposed to some of the other countries out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the article,
Yeah.
I think I saw it yesterday, was paid dates in Korea.
Okay.
So
what are paid
apparently
dates?
it's a new trend for let me find the article quickly. It's right here. So it says here,
When you first mentioned paid dates, I know we talked about this before the broadcast, but when you mentioned paid dates, I was like, are you talking about when we get paid, like money?
oh, your pay date.
Yeah, like your pay date. I'm
Pay
like, people are posting pictures of their pay dates, like.
So the article is, as cherry blossoms are now in full bloom across the nation, blah blah blah. A lot of people want to go and see these cherry blossoms, but they don't want to do it alone,
Right.
right? So the idea behind it is you can go onto these forums and then you can post an ad saying, "Listen, I'm looking for a date on this date."
Mm-hmm.
Between this time and this time, this is my rate that I'm willing to pay.
What's the going rate?
I think it's like 20,000 won an hour.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
No.
20,000 won an hour, and it includes 2 meals, and dessert. So 2 meals and a dessert
So the person who is gonna pay 20 an hour plus food
plus food. Yeah.
and dessert.
And yeah, I think like the ad that they were talking about, it was like 3 hours. So minimum 3-hour day.
$60.
So $60. Two meals
a
plus
bunch of dessert.
dessert and drinks and whatever if the date wants that. And then
This is a foreigner who's
no,
posting
this
this?
is Korean. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
it's basically an escort service.
basically,
Basically, a cheap escort
the only
service.
difference is it says there will be absolutely no physical contact.
Well, I mean, that's up to the two people.
However,
Yeah.
if unavoidable due to crowded conditions, brief hand holding is permitted. Right? So if things get out of control, you're like, hey, Tagia, come here.
Yeah.
You grab a hand and you walk and whatever.
So when you do that, are you pretending you're a couple when you go on
I
these
guess
dates?
that's
Like the
thing.
person who accepts the deal has to
Yeah.
pretend like
Well, yeah, I guess I have to pretend.
right.
yeah.
And then is there like a casting call where like you send the photo and be like, hey, this is me, like
I don't know. That's all the article said, man.
what if you just be like, oh yeah, I'll do it, and then you show up and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
who are you? You know?
yeah.
But
It might, it might actually start a thing. Because I mean, if you take, let's say OnlyFans, right?
no,
Right, that's big.
It's
and
huge.
That's huge. And Korea, they have the what is called
Africa,
Afreeca, right?
Afreeca, yeah.
Yeah. So it's something similar to that,
Oh.
but where these women will go online and take videos of themselves, and like guys pay. I don't know how, like they request stuff, or do they just watch and pay and send money
Like at the end of the day, probably hand them cash, maybe.
for this one? So
Yeah.
here it is.
Oh, you mean
upfront.
Africa?
Yeah, Africa.
Okay,
the online.
so
Yeah.
Africa, the way that works is like you have a broadcaster like you or I, right?
Yeah.
And we turn on our web camera and then we just start talking. There's different varieties of conversations. One of them is Mukbang,
Yeah.
which is just a person sitting there eating a shit ton of food.
Oh, okay. I've
That's what-
seen. Yeah, I've
yeah.
seen some of that. Yeah.
Mukbangs are super popular in Korea.
Yeah.
Can we diverge on that a little bit? So mukbangs, a lot of people like loneliness is pretty big in Korea right now, apparently. So what they as they're eating food, as Korean people are eating food, or I mean this is big in America too now, apparently. It's not just Korea anymore. It blew up kind of all over the world. But what it is you turn on YouTube and you turn on this video of a person eating like a ridiculous amount of food, right? And
What, like a food challenge type?
no,
Or
it's not even a challenge. It's just what they do every day. And like I'm talking like
is it like the normal meals?
no, it's not normal meals, bro. It's like 2 full chickens plus like pork ribs and like a fucking a loaf of bread. It's
Why?
it's
Why
like
are
a
they
crazy
doing
meal
that?
because it's just first of all, once you start watching it, it's kind of just interesting just to see how they can eat so much food.
Okay.
And it's just they eat the people that are most popular, they eat food very deliciously. Like they eat like it's everything is delicious. And something about that works up your appetite for some reason. Like when I see I've run across some of them on Instagram and like I'll watch it only because I'll first look at the food and be like, first of all, that food looks fucking amazing,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And then second of all, you look at the food and it's like that's a lot of food for one person. But the interesting part is like, can this person really finish his food?
So you watch the.
And you just watch it and
Yeah.
they're just chowing down, right?
Okay.
And that's where you get things like ASMR, where like if you get like the crunchy food,
Sure.
they'll bring it up to the mic and they'll go, "Ah," and like you hear the crunch,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right, cool. But something about those videos because they're eating good food, because they're eating a lot and they're eating very kind of like deliciously. I don't know if that's the right word.
I know what you mean. I know what the word for is like.
Th-
I wouldn't say like sensually.
It's not sensual. They're not like licking their food and like
And
shit like
also-
that. No,
Might get more money if they do it that way.
I'm sure some people do. Yeah, the
There's
girls
maybe
do
a
definitely.
subsection of that.
Yeah.
Sensual eating.
Sensual eating, ASMR. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just the way they eat it. It's just like, oh wow, that looks really good.
Yeah.
And something about that works up your appetite. So for the lonely people, not just in Korea, but whoever's watching this, it feels like you're eating with somebody. You're not just eating
okay.
alone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So you're kind of like sitting across this person, and sometimes you'll try to imitate the meal, and something similar, right? Like not in terms of portion, but in terms of like the type of food. And you'll kind of just like eat together, and it feels like you're eating
Having
with
dinner with
someone,
someone.
basically,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of the world we live in now, where it's not like face-to-face interactions anymore. Everything's
That's
online.
a little bit scary actually. Huh? Sad.
It's almost
Is
like
it sad?
I don't know about sad. It's just the world we live in. You
Like
know?
how far backwards have we gone now that you want to eat dinner with some YouTuber?
Well, I mean, you got to think of the flip side, where like you're eating dinner and like you don't really have anybody to eat it with, and you don't feel like
Yeah.
going out. You just finished the day of work. You came home. You just want to order delivery food. And you're just sitting there, and sometimes it's not about the companionship. Sometimes it's just about watching somebody eat and like working up your appetite, because that works up your appetite.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Like even what you were saying, watching the food. You know the show Hot Ones?
No,
Hot Ones.
Hot Ones.
Hot Ones.
No, is it a Korean show?
No. It's a American show with this guy Steve Evans or something. I'm not sure what his name is. Anyway, this guy, he has a bunch of famous people on his show.
Oh.
It's like 15-20 minutes or something.
Mm.
Then he interviews them, but while he interviews them, they eat hot wings.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Ah,
So they start off, there's 10 different hot wings,
Yeah.
right? And they start off with the beginner ones,
Yeah.
like marinated in sriracha or something like that, like
Yeah.
something simple.
Yeah.
And then they go all the way up until number 10.
like habanero, like ghost pepper, reaper spice.
Yeah, so I think it's like number 8 or something is called, it's so famous.
death,
Nah.
just fucking death.
Anyway, but the Scoville on that is like 1,000,000 on the Scoville.
Oh.
So something ridiculous.
Oh.
The bomb, that's what it's called.
The bomb.
The bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone does fine.
Oh.
It's like some of them like, oh, jeez, this is hot,
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah.
But then they get to the bomb,
Yeah.
and then yeah,
But they're like they still have to carry the conversation.
yeah, and then this guy is interviewing, like every wing there's a new question. So
Yeah.
and then some sections he has like photos. So what happened in this photo? Then it's like some embarrassing picture of the celebrity,
Yeah.
and then they talk about like the huge people on dude, Post Malone, you name it, like
Oh, like celebrities come on the show and they're eating this.
celebrities,
Okay.
dude, yeah.
Oh
And then
shit.
he interviews the celebrities,
Hot Ones?
hot ones. I think that's what it's called, hot
I've
ones.
never seen it. Is it on Netflix?
YouTube.
You too.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fun. But anyway, like watching that show, just watching them eat the wings,
Yeah.
I get so hungry every time watching them. It's like, fuck.
That's what it is.
Now
It's
I
like,
eat.
and that's the thing about mukbangs
Yeah.
is when even if you just had the biggest meal of your life, you'll sit there and you turn on your phone, you'll start watching that. And it's like, fuck, that looks good. Let me grab a snack. Like,
Yeah.
it happens, you know? So I think it's also for people. Apparently, I think I read an article. I might be wrong, but I read an article in the past about how it helps people who are skinny gain weight because it works up their appetite or something like that. So I don't know. There's some sort of science there where like, you know, if you see good food, you just get hungrier. Apparently.
Yeah, I guess that's normal.
Apparently.
Human nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The
the pay dates, just going back to the pay dates,
Yeah.
right? So
how did we get here from paid
I
dates?
don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
from the pay dates, so you pay this person 50,000 won upfront.
60, no? It said 20 an hour for 3 hours, so that's 60 total.
Yeah, how does this work then?
So
No,
you
yeah, it's
paid-
a payment of 50,000 won upfront.
So you pay them 10 after the date?
Stated that the chosen person would receive 20,000 won per hour, totaling 160. These are conditions. are later.
160?
So maybe it's minimum of
That sounds more like $40 at 4 hours.
maybe, yeah, I don't know. The math doesn't add up here.
No.
Anyway, maybe it's longer. Maybe it's more than 3 hours or something.
160, the math works out to 40 at 4.
No, maybe it doesn't include the food, or maybe it does include the food.
Maybe it's the price of food. Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe it's 20 an hour, so that's 60, and then 100 for like the two meals and the dessert. But you get 50 up front and you get the 110 after.
Maybe, yeah.
Plus food.
Plus food.
That's decent.
That's not bad for. That's how we got into it, right? So, if you're these women that do the OnlyFans and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Right?
OnlyFans.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna be, or you do the Afreeca, the BJ, the this and the
I
that,
still have to explain Africa, but go ahead. Yeah.
all right. I'm sure if this thing starts going, a lot of women will be like, you know what, I can make $150 today,
A day.
a day,
Wow.
and I can get a free meal,
But like you
and
gotta
I just need to
figure-
go on a date with a bushmuck that's feeling lonely.
But the peak season is like, it's like the blossoms,
Now,
the cherry blossoms.
Right now.
Right. Like and then maybe like during the fall,
yeah,
like the foliage.
yes,
I don't think you can make a full-time job out of it.
no, but it's a very decent part-time job.
Yeah. If you don't mind kind of selling yourself out in a sense.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you look at these OnlyFans girls,
Well, yeah.
they don't mind.
Yeah.
Clearly, they don't mind.
No. No.
So just go on a date with a guy, and I mean, these OnlyFans, they have different price ranges, I'm sure.
Different price ranges for different exposure.
But I'm sure if there's a woman that's listen, I don't like these rates. I'm a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Bump those numbers up, then we'll talk again. You know, I'm sure there'll be a negotiation.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, they got big bucks. They're like, okay, listen, I want a hot one.
Oh.
I want a very nice girl on my date to see the cherry blossoms.
It's basically an escort service.
It is,
Yeah.
but obviously there's limits. Hand holding, that's the only thing.
Unless you're a smooth talker.
Yeah. who
It,
knows?
it kind of just goes to your ability, I guess, right? Yeah.
But just
Um,
interesting, especially because we've been talking the last few episodes about the
birth rates,
and the marriage rates and
right.
stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, now it's even paid date services, you know, or maybe just to, if the parents are living in Seoul and you're down in Busan and you don't have a lot of time to see them, then they keep pressuring you. Because I know that's the thing with Korean
Oh,
people.
yeah.
The parents pressure them, when are you going to get married? Where's your boyfriend? You know, stuff like that. And it's like, okay, mom, I'll send you pictures of my date. And then you quickly, I need a date for this weekend.
Yeah.
Take pictures of the dates and then
160 for for a photo for your mom. Yeah.
I don't know. I think some people would do it just to
Oh.
keep your mom at bay and say,
Oh, sure.
"Mom, yeah."
I'm sure.
And then a few weeks later, oh, no,
I broke up. Yeah.
Well, she left me.
Yeah.
Or, you know?
So I don't feel like dating anymore for me,
Yeah,
mom.
like, oh, I go.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we gonna do? You know?
I think cherry blossoms. Should we talk about Africa first or cherry blossoms? Have you seen Africa? Do you
No.
know anything about Africa?
No.
It's a live broadcast, and you were just asking about it before, so I just want to cover it real quick. It's a live broadcast.
I've seen the logo, but
Yeah.
I know what it is now.
It's just Africa TV, and you see a little TV logo,
Yeah.
I think, right? So it's a live broadcast, and then the viewers can send balloons, and these balloons equal money.
Okay.
So when you accumulate a certain amount of balloons, you can cash that out and get money. So I've never watched Africa, but apparently there's people doing all sorts of shit on there. Like There's like the pornography element.
Oh, sorry. That's why I heard of Afreeca TV because Steam, is that it?
Uh-huh.
Steam stopped their services in Korea because it was too expensive.
Steam,
You know,
the
like
video game company.
I think that's the same one. Yeah.
What does that have to do with Africa? Africa is a video streaming company.
No, but
Are
isn't
you
like
sure it's not Twitch?
Twitch? Sorry,
Twitch.
that's the one, not
Yeah.
Steam. Fuck.
Yeah, Steam is where
Twitch.
you download games.
Download games or
Oh.
something. Yeah. Twitch
Twitch.
is where you can stream yourself playing
Yep.
games. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That's why I got it mixed up. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't play games.
Yeah.
But so Twitch,
Yeah.
they stopped their services in Korea
Mm.
because apparently it was too expensive in Korea.
Mm.
So they stopped their services. So all of these gamers, streamers, whatever, they switched over to Afreeca TV.
Yeah, which is kind of.
Yeah.
There was another company recently that Sephora. You know Sephora?
No.
Oh, it's a big like makeup company. It's like the Olive Young of America, basically.
Okay. Okay.
And they exited the Korean market recently too.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like competing with Korean brands is hard, bro. It's hard. Like look at Amazon. You've got Coupang. Amazon isn't really able to make a dent in Korea.
No.
You've got Sephora who's leaving. The only successful like American chains in Korea are probably just food related.
Food probably.
Yeah. KFC, Burger King, McDonald's, Shake Shack. Shake Shack blew the fuck up.
Mm.
And then like some failed. Like Five Guys is blowing up right now in Seoul, right? You know Five Guys?
I've heard of it.
It's like a burger joint in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Taco Bell didn't do so well in Korea. But yeah, like it's really hard to compete with Korea in general.
There's one South African restaurant that's also doing very well. It's been open for many years.
Mm.
I think it started in Itaewon,
Mhm.
and they got another branch open in Pyeongtaek as well.
Mhm.
It's called Brai Republic. Remember I told you last time Brai is the actor barbecuing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the place is called Brai Republic. They've also got another shop called Pie Republic where they focus on meat pies because in South Africa we love our meat pies.
Mm.
You know, and this place, every time I go there, packed. It's always packed. They open at like 12 or whatever on a Saturday, Sunday. I've never been there during the week, but on the weekends. And you know what? Most of them are Koreans in the restaurant.
It's different
It's
food.
tiny, it's small, but the food is, oh, fuck, it's so amazing.
It's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people like it maybe.
Yeah, very meaty.
I know there's one Brazilian one in Ulsan, Namgu.
Yeah,
It's called Boy Brazil.
Boy Brazil. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
and
heard of it. I've never been there.
I've always thought it was boy, like little boy Brazil,
Oh,
but
it's
it's
not?
BOI.
BOI.
And in Portuguese, apparently that means like bull.
Bull.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like bull or cow. I think I might be wrong on this. For our Portuguese or Portuguese speaking viewers, please let me know if I'm wrong. But I believe it's like bull, and I heard about this. So I'm like, why would you name a store like a little boy?
No,
Like a
that's
little
what I
boy
thought.
Brazil.
as well.
Yeah, and it's
Boy
like, what?
Brazil.
No, but it's like it means bull apparently, and it's like so that's the churrasca, where you get the big strips of meat
Hanging on the
big
thing.
no on the big ass knife, and the waiter carries it around, and then they cut the meat in front of you and give you this.
Oh, like it's is that the one where it's
No, that's what you're talking about is like halal food.
like the
That's
shawarma type?
That's
of...
the shawarma.
Oh, is it
Different from shawarma. What they
Okay.
do is they take like chunks of meat and they put it onto like this big ass sword, basically.
like a kebab?
Like a kebab, like a big ass kebab, but it's just chunks of meat. Like shawarma is slices of meat kind of stuck together.
Stuck together, yeah.
Right? And then but this is like you get 3 ribeyes and you put it on this big ass sword and then you put it into the grill, and when it's cooked, the waiter carries around this big ass sword and then cuts slices for you and puts
Oh,
it on
nice.
your plate. Yeah. And it's unlimited. You just pay the fee and it's unlimited.
Okay.
So yeah.
So Afreeca TV, you get the balloons and you can cash out.
Yeah, so you can do all sorts of broadcasts. They do mukbangs on Africa. That's how we got into fucking mukbangs.
The eating.
Yeah, they do
Okay.
mukbangs there. They do, I guess, indecent exposure videos probably. They do like video gaming and all sorts of just anything you want to stream, you can do there.
Okay.
I know people who go hiking who turn on their cameras and start like streaming on YouTube
Sure.
on Africa, right? So it's basically like the YouTube of Korea in a sense.
Okay.
And then the second thing I wanted to talk about was cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
So right now it's April 6th, right? Saturday, April 6th. And what?
Saturday, April 6th? Okay, yes.
Yeah.
8th, no?
No, I'm looking at no, it's April 6th.
Is it 6th?
Yesterday was Friday, April 5th.
Okay.
Today is Saturday, April 6th.
Sorry, this week just flew by.
Yeah. April 6th. And I think I know that this episode is going to air next week, where it's already going to be too late.
Yeah.
you need to go now.
Yeah,
Like this
I
week.
think this weekend's the last. Well, in the southern part of Korea, yes.
Well, where we are in Ulsan,
Yeah.
you need to go now because like the cherry blossoms are in full bloom.
They're really starting to fall off. Yeah.
Yeah, they're already starting to fall off, and some of them already are fully off, right?
Yeah.
Like, but
Especially because it's a bit windy as well. That's not helping either.
and the rain didn't help a few days ago. We got the rain; it didn't help either. But now, like this week is like the last week where you want to go and just enjoy it, because after that you'll see a lot of trees just starting to grow leaves instead of flowers. So I know it's not going to really help you that much for our viewers, but
Yeah. Hope you enjoy the cherry blossoms.
yeah. Hope you saw it last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So paid dates. Are there any other instances where you do paid dates besides like the cherry blossoms? Was it
well,
in
I don't know. This
correlation?
is the first I saw of it. So
But did
that's
the
what-
article mention cherry blossoms? Like
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why the article came up. I'm assuming, like I said, if this thing starts trending, which I think is possible.
It's probably been trending for a long time, which is why the newspaper picked up on it.
Maybe.
Like it's not something new. It's not like, oh, all of a sudden people are paying for
Well,
dates.
I
Like,
don't know. It's the first I heard of it.
prostitution is the oldest profession, and I know it's not prostitution.
Yeah, okay. Guys, if you do that, we're not saying you're prostitute.
Oh no, that's not
Okay.
what I'm saying. But it's
Just wanna clarify.
it's on the same kind of. You're basically selling yourself for time,
Yes.
right? You're not selling your body, but you are selling yourself.
But
right?
are we not doing the same thing at work?
Are we not doing the same thing right now? We're selling our faces. We're selling our voices.
We're not getting paid for this.
No, we're not. But
No.
we're doing it in the hopes that we get paid.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, one day, somewhere in the future. But yeah, it is, and that's kind of that's what I mean. Is it's the oldest profession? Like
Yeah.
everything. If you think about it, everything's prostitution, bro. Everything.
Yeah.
You paying somebody for food is
But with
prostitution.
this one, I think just there's a bigger line because, like I said, there's no physical contact. You must just sit there and have conversation with people, like with maybe even someone you don't want to.
Well,
I'm a teacher. I do that every single day.
well,
I have conversation with these little snot-head kids that I don't want to have conversations with.
well. Shout out to our kids who may want to watch this later when you grow up. This
I'm
is how
talking
Ian
about you.
feels about you.
Yeah.
He's talking about you. You know exactly.
You
who
know
he's talking
exactly who you
about.
are. All five of you.
Yeah, and I'm almost concerned that like during these paid dates, I'm sure that they set the ground rules, but some people probably don't follow them. Like it's kind of like the standard boilerplate template where you're like,
Yeah.
these are the rules, but then you meet them in person and like I'm sure a lot of people try to cross the line, you know.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I'm just thinking straight about safety for that. You know,
Of what?
safety for that. So create like this website, but you need to verify your identification.
No.
So if something goes south,
No.
we know exactly who you are, what you did,
No.
something like that. Like there needs to be.
But that's not the way it's done now.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's probably more like a Craigslist posting.
Probably yeah. Yeah.
Like looking for a liver. Like
But I'm saying, like, if you guys want to start that off, I have some ideas how to make it safe. Okay, let's create a website. And yeah,
are you gonna design the actual website?
I'm not going. There's someone who can do that. I have the ideas how to do it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Maybe
Okay.
maybe it's a side business you should start.
maybe.
Get some
Yeah.
foreigners and be like, go on dates with Korean
Korea living
people.
in 2050. That's our next segment. Anyway, the new website. Buy a date.
Buy a foreigner.
Buy a foreigner.
Buy a foreigner. Because
Yeah.
Korean people love foreigners.
Yeah, if you really want to upset your parents.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Korean parents are gonna flip a shit when they see that. Okay, so Korea living in the future.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we want to touch on here with how Korea's living in the future. Towards the end, there's one or two things that Korea needs to catch up on, right? But so one of our first shorts was one of the zebra crossing,
No.
right?
Oh.
And where if you get to the sidewalk of a big intersection in Korea, you'll see the lights. Not everywhere, but most places you'll see the lights built into the pavement,
Oh.
where it shows green and red for you to stop and go. And now, I think this was a school in Busan actually that did it. There's a big intersection in Busan, right, where I'm assuming there's been a lot of accidents in this area, and any school zone in Korea, any school zone, you're not allowed to travel more than 30 kilometers an hour.
Right.
Any school zone, it's 30 kilometers, and there's camera lights, or not camera lights, cameras everywhere. So yeah, they're very strict on school zones and safety for kids. Like we said, safety for kids in Korea is huge.
No.
Now, one of these schools actually I'm sure they must have partnered with the government or something, or made up with some plan.
No.
But the students from that school, all of them have to download an app, a specific app. I don't know what the name of the app is, but they have to download this app, and then this specific intersection, as soon as they come close to the intersection, your phone is out of use. Like you cannot use your phone at all. So for all those kids that's always playing on their phones, you know, walking, just watching videos or playing on their phones, once you get to the intersection or anywhere close to the intersection, your phone goes off. Not off, but I don't know, it just blocks your phone until you are away from this intersection, you know, in safety or whatever.
But you can also just uninstall the app, can't you?
I guess you could.
Oh.
But I don't know, like parents have a lot of control over the kids' phones. Some of the parents.
Oh
like,
yeah,
we know,
it's just crazy, bro.
yeah, some of the kids come because we have cacao groups, and then the students need to send recordings and stuff like that. And then the kid says, "No, I can't do it because my phone's blocked."
Yeah.
I was like, "Why your phone's blocked?" No, well, it's time. My mom blocked my phone.
Well, so there's two types that I've seen. One is it blocks your phone completely, like you can't use any data. Like they just shut off the data.
So, but you can still get like incoming calls and stuff.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think you can get the calls, but the data they shut it off, and
Yeah.
like you get like an allowance basically. It's like the new form of allowance.
Allowance.
Yeah, and it's like what parents use to threaten their kids. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut off all your fucking data if you don't do your homework. Like that's one thing. The other one is what you're talking about. I think is in the Play Store they have a lock. So if they ever want to download an app, they either need permission from their parents, which they respond via like a text message or something,
Yeah.
or the parents have to log in and put in the password for them to download the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So it's
maybe
pretty cool.
maybe there's something on that thing that doesn't allow you to uninstall it, or I don't know.
Maybe.
Because I mean, if I was a kid, that's the first thing I do is uninstall it.
Yeah, it's like it's bullshit. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a problem, bro. Like recently, I rode on the bus of our Hagwon and just kind of took a lap around, and
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out the route with the bus driver. And every time, it's like these kids. As soon as they get on the bus, they're either on their phone, or as they're walking to the bus, they're just on their phone.
Phones, yeah.
And like this is all you see. All the kids just like turtlenecking, right? And it's a problem, bro. Like everybody's on their phone all the time and not looking where they're going, especially the kids. And like that's how you get into accidents and kids die. Like shit happens when you do
Yeah.
that. So I think it's a good idea. It'll be annoying as hell, but it's a
If
good
you're a
idea.
kid,
If
yeah.
you're a kid, yeah, it sucks. But it's like you gotta figure when we were kids, we didn't have to deal with these problems. We dealt with different problems, right? But like it's such a new problem that like we need to come up with solutions
Yeah.
for this problem. Like, you know, who would have thought when we were kids, like, oh, like we can't even imagine this.
No ways.
You know?
But that's where it comes in again. There needs to be like some sort of regulation when it comes to these things. But then who does the regulation? You trust the government,
No.
you know, and then the government needs to come up with regulation how much time you're allowed to spend on your phone or this and that.
And it just means that they're tracking everything you do on your phone then at that
Anyway,
point.
yeah.
Which they already are,
they're
but
already doing
but
it.
they'll be more blatant about it,
Yeah.
right? Like government intervention when it comes to like personal data is never good.
Yeah.
Never.
That's why with like the Chinese TikTok, right? Apparently, from what I've heard, if you go on TikTok in China and you're like a school student, the videos that you see aren't these fucking women doing the TikTok trends and silly
No.
shit like that in America.
No.
It's science videos, it's educational videos,
Like space
it's
videos, yeah,
science,
physics
you know,
and
all
shit
these
like
type
that.
of
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not mukbangs and fucking
No.
ASMRs.
I don't know did we talk about it on the podcast or did I talk about it with somebody else? I might have talked about it with somebody else, but it's apparently it's like this whole Chinese strategy to sabotage America.
Yeah,
Like TikTok.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, I've heard that theory
Yeah.
too. And like it's just in China apparently TikTok is used for like educational purposes,
Yeah.
research purposes. But then in America they opened it up to like all these fucking trends and like dances and shit like that. And like you just get these people absorbed because I downloaded TikTok when it first came out, and like it's more addicting than Instagram Reels swiping. You just keep swiping.
That's a problem, man.
Oh, it's bad. Like you just keep going, and there's no stopping. It's like for some reason Instagram, they're at least compared to TikTok, there's some sort of a natural end. At a certain point, you're just like, oh fuck, I'm sick of this, and like
Yeah.
you just stop it, right? TikTok, the dopamine hits
stop.
a lot harder. It hits so much harder.
Yeah, I shouldn't get that then. No ways.
No, once you get that, you're gonna be on it all the time. This is your thumb every
Yeah,
day.
and also for the safety, because I heard one of the things someone looked at the like the the terms and conditions. You agree to all the terms and conditions, right?
Yeah.
And they had people like in America, because they're doing the court cases, see if it should be banned or not.
Oh.
And they had people looking into it, and some of the experts say it's like some of the worst spyware that they've ever seen, most dangerous spyware that they've ever seen, because it can pick up your keystrokes.
Jesus.
Right, so you give it permissions to pick up your keystrokes and anything. So
That's
even
your
if
passwords.
yeah, even if you're in your emails or sending messages, not on TikTok, on anything,
Yeah.
they pick up every single keystroke that you make.
Yeah.
So they know everything.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
just all your data. That's
Everything.
all it is. Yeah. And like nobody's really. No, I mean nobody reads those fucking things to begin with. The
No
terms
one
and
does.
conditions.
No one has the time, man.
No, but I'm sure a lot of terms and conditions have some shady shit in there. It's not just TikTok, right?
No, it's
Like,
not. No.
You've probably sold your soul several times by not reading and agreeing.
Yeah.
You ever watch that South Park episode where Kenny? Do you watch South Park?
Used to.
Okay, so there's one episode where Kenny, the one with the orange jacket
I know
and the
Kenny, yeah.
and the green hat. No, oh shit, not Kenny then.
That's Kenny.
That's Kenny. That's Kenny. Is it Stan? No, not the blue hat.
The ginger.
No, the one with the green. Yeah, the ginger.
The ginger
What's his
boy.
name? You have Stan with the blue
Kyle.
hat. Kyle. Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah.
So Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah. That's Cartman, right? Yeah.
I tried.
Not bad. Kyle gets an iPhone or something. He gets something from Apple, and he reads the terms and
the human
conditions.
centipede.
Yeah. Yeah, and like that shit, it kind of hit home, right? It's like
Yeah.
you never know what you're agreeing to, but he's like, and everybody was like, you didn't read the fucking terms and conditions. He's like, no, nobody reads that.
Nobody reads
And
that.
just human sentiment, and like the Japanese guy in front is so funny. Oh, Kairu, I'm sorry. Oh, Squiddo. Oh my god, bro! I was cracking up when I watched that.
South Park has a way of doing that.
Oh,
thing,
dude,
yeah.
South Park
Yeah.
is outrageous, but it's so funny.
Yeah,
It's
but
so
there was
funny.
wasn't it the new Black Mirror series where they also had this one? It's like a Netflix where
Yeah.
sold
And they were making an episode about you.
about them.
Yeah.
And they're using the exact same person.
Yeah, and like making a show about your
AI,
day-to-day
yeah,
life.
yeah.
That shit was crazy too.
That was also wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Mirror is an amazing show, but it's gotten not so good over the years.
No,
The
yeah.
first season was like, what the fuck is this?
the
Like,
first
oh.
episode was
Oh my
wild.
god, fucking a pig, bro. Like, sorry for the spoilers, but goddamn, you know?
Yeah, some of those episodes, like, honestly, when you're done watching it,
No.
you go to bed and you lay in bed and you just think, you're like, fucking hell, this is too much.
And like but the scary part is they're so realistic, like it's so possible,
So possible.
you know. But a lot of them was just kind of like later on, it just
Yeah.
got a little too much. But some of the shit was crazy. Yeah. How do we start talking about Human Centipede and Kyle and
Signing the TikTok, signing everything away.
TikTok? Right. So yeah, phones. Kids watch. So crosswalk. Kids on phones. Yeah. So I think that's the big issue is like we need to come up with some sort of solution, some sort of regulation, not government regulation, but even like Google.
Starting at home.
Yeah,
I think that's where it's got to
where it
start.
has to start.
That's why, and I see the parents that lock the kids' phones and stuff now. It's like I like it. I enjoy
You
it
have to do it. Yeah.
because the kids do need a phone.
Right.
You know, it's not
Right.
like some of the kids.
You don't need a phone though, man. Like we grew up without phones. We're fine. When we were
But in
kids.
today's, well, I wouldn't say a phone. Like I see some of the younger kids, they've got those smart watches.
Yeah.
Where
But you
like
need a phone for the watch.
Kid's phone. No man, the kid's phone. Like in
Ah.
kindergarten, they don't. You can have like 3 or 4 numbers on that thing.
Right.
You can
just
call, you can receive calls.
And that's all you like. Yeah, you need a phone, but like you don't need a smartphone, and that's the thing. But like,
Yeah.
so it's interesting because then you get bullied apparently in school
If you don't have a
if
phone.
you don't have a smartphone.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because I see even in the class, some of the kids don't have a phone. And they look like complete loners outside. Everyone's playing games on their phone. This kid's just sitting there reading a book or getting
Yeah.
ready for a test. Or...
But that's what we did. We fucking we sat there and we just were bored out of our minds, and it fueled our creative juices when we were younger. You don't need these phones, right? But I read an article recently where it was like, what you're doing when you give your phone to your child, you get that 15 minutes of quiet while you're eating. Like let's say you go to a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
If you don't give them your phone, you're gonna have this wild kid
Those
screaming and
tablet babies.
crying. Yeah. But you give them their phone or the tablet, and you get that 15 minutes of like peace and quiet. But what you're actually doing is you're just kind of delaying those 15 minutes, right? And at the same time, you're getting them hooked onto these things at a young age. So they say for kids, you shouldn't give them phones only because they'll naturally have to use it in the future. But when they're a baby, they get hooked to all that stimulation and the dopamine,
Yeah.
and it just fucks this kid up. And like, I understand why there's so much autism, bro. Like, I mean, I'm sure it's not a direct correlation, but like,
And that's the thing. I feel like we're playing games. This is a very scary game that we're playing, because this is an experiment that we're doing. All these kids getting phones, like they're 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds sitting with phones.
oh,
What is that development gonna look like 30 years later?
yeah, we don't know.
What type of person is that gonna be?
Oh.
Is the brain gonna be fully developed? Has everything gone into place that should be in place?
No.
I just feel like it's an experiment, and
Well, I mean, it's already there. Like, you've got kids who are like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're like, I want to be a YouTuber. Like, you know, that was never anybody's
I
dream.
want an influencer.
I want to be an influencer. Like,
Well,
I
look
wanna,
at that. We're YouTubers now.
yeah,
I guess.
yeah. But it's like, this wasn't
But
our dream. Like, it
No
wasn't
ways,
like,
yeah.
it wasn't our occupation. We don't plan on making this our occupation. Not, I mean, maybe later on.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not like our goal was to be like these famous YouTubers all over the world. It was just kind of like, hey, we have an idea. Let's just try it, right?
Yeah.
It's a side project. It's
Mm.
not like but the kids are just like, no, I don't want a job. I don't want to work. I don't
Yeah.
want to learn anything. I'm going to be a YouTuber.
I'm
What
gonna
do I have
be
to
a
learn
YouTuber.
this shit? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, and that's kind of the mentality that you're seeing. But
But sorry, at the same time, as a teacher, now you look at these kids and you're like, he's got a point. There's a
no,
lot of these YouTubers that they didn't finish school, or they
No.
don't have degrees or
No.
master's degrees or anything.
no.
It's just regular people that came up with an idea how to make funny videos or cool videos, and now millionaires.
And that's the point I'm getting to is like, I think a society is adapting to allow these kids to achieve their dreams of doing this, which is why it's actually possible for these
Yeah.
kids to do these things, because it's the system is there, right? And that's where kind of like you see the evolution and you see the trend just completely changing. It's if 5 years ago you were like, you heard a kid, it's like, oh, I'm gonna be a famous YouTuber, you would be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Go fucking study.
With
right?
what? Your 3G.
Yeah.
Your 3G
Yeah.
internet.
And you're like, flip phone? Like, no, shut up.
Yeah.
But like, you get kids like in 3rd or 4th grade with these iPhones, and they're like streaming and they're on Instagram already, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of like, well, shit, you actually might have a chance, like,
Yeah.
But it's kind of like an accepted norm now. It's not like far-fetched anymore. It's just kind of like, okay, you want to be a YouTuber, go for it. Like,
Yeah.
make a lot of money, like it works. But it's
But
and it's
but
just-
that's the thing. For now, that's a possibility to become a YouTuber,
Right.
right? Because that's what's going on now.
Right.
10, 20 years ago, we said that's ridiculous.
No,
Right?
yeah.
That's complete nonsense.
Right.
But what's going to be next? I don't think YouTube's going to be
No,
around.
it's not,
Something's
like-
going to replace it.
Like when these kids, these 5 or 6-year-olds right now, when they grow up to be 30, 40, they're going to be living in a completely different world.
Yeah.
And they're going to have kids, and their kids are going to be hooked. Like, they're going to be talking like we are. Like,
No.
we only grew up with YouTube, and like
Yeah.
these kids are fucking AI and living in their virtual reality and like
They've got
making
those Neuralink
like
implants.
the fucking the
Yeah.
little beads in their head, and it's like, what are these kids going to end up being? And like that just gets progressively crazier,
Yeah.
And it's not going to get worse until we get wiped out. Like it's going to get crazier and crazier, and like right now we live in an age where AI is kind of just blowing up.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Dude, have you seen the Nvidia stock? It's fucking skyrocketing like to the goddamn moon, bro.
Because all these major corporations are buying up all these
The
AI
graphic cards.
AI
What is
What's
it? I don't know exactly what they're producing that's driving their stock price up. Something to do with AI, but I don't know exactly.
who, Nvidia?
Nvidia.
Well, I know exactly about Nvidia, but I know the computer chips.
Superconductor or like the chips? Okay.
Yeah, those computer chips.
But Nvidia is a graphics card company, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
but I think they're branching out and do these other things. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I remember the two big ones are Intel and AMD. Those are the two big
Yeah.
like chip companies.
Then you have that Taiwanese one, which is the biggest one in the world.
Oh.
Taiwanese chip making fucking
Yeah,
something.
TS something. Taiwanese
TBSC,
superconductors something.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah. Korea's big now too with Samsung.
They're trying, yeah.
Oh.
But from what I've heard is that the Taiwanese one is just so far ahead of anyone else.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because they got the smallest, the best ones, the
Oh.
most expensive ones. They just leap years ahead of anyone else. So everyone's playing catch up.
But like you got Nvidia stock price blowing through the roof, and it's like
Yeah.
something must be happening, right? And
Something
like
must be happening.
it's interesting to see how and like I'm not a big stocks guy. I used to be, but it really the price of the stocks and the increase of the stocks tell you where we are, like in society, right?
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago, Google, Apple, Samsung, right? You got them blowing up with the smartphones and shit.
Yeah.
Now it's like Nvidia, and like you can kind of see how the world is changing along with these
Exactly, but
companies.
that's also why I saw with Apple.
Apple's going down.
Yeah, but now they're trying to make a move because they have been buying, like let's go like these AI systems, like fucking ChatGPT, those type of programs. They've been spending money. A lot of these big corporations have been spending money buying all those things because if it was like OpenAI, that's open to anyone, but now they're starting to buy all these things, so they want to keep those secrets. You know what I mean?
Monetize it,
They want to monetize it, not just have it open there for everyone.
Yeah, but Apple's been kind of in the shitter these days.
Yeah. Come on, Apple. I've been a great supporter of you guys. Don't
Steve
fuck it
Jobs
up.
was Apple. That was it. I always see it in that way. He's always Apple, man.
Okay, let's get back to another one here, which ties in sort of. So we have the smart crosswalks with the apps where when you go to the crosswalk, your phone's gonna die and you can't cross, right? I think that should be for everyone. But next one is so in Korea, you guys might have seen it online somewhere, but at the restaurants they have these robots that come around and collect your plates or even deliver food to your table, right? So where your table is, it's a designated table, number 20 or whatever the case is, and then you push the button for the robots, and then this little like Wall-E robot comes out.
It's big.
Yeah, it's quite a big
like
robot.
Yeah.
So the restaurant where I was, all of your empty plates, because it was a buffet, right? So you go and you eat, and then empty plate next to and comes around. So this robot just goes to your table, you put all your stuff in the table, and you say, okay, thank you, goodbye. Then Wally goes, and he goes and to these little docking station where the worker takes out the plates and washes them.
Wow.
Then he just comes around and does that. Another one where they go to you and then they just deliver the food, you know, and you just take your plates. Okay, cheers, thank you.
Yeah. I've had there's a restaurant in Chunggu, and it doesn't look like a fancy restaurant. It's just like a regular restaurant.
Yeah.
And they sell like octopus, right? Like spicy octopus. And I went in there and there's a robot. I'm like, you guys are using a robot in this kind of restaurant? But like they're using it everywhere. They're trying to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And like it doesn't have to be a fancy place. You might think, oh, they're using robots in a restaurant.
Like a hotel restaurant, but it's like no, it's like your neighborhood restaurant.
Yeah.
Has a fucking robot, and like it's great, but at the same time, it's like you're cutting a lot of jobs there, bro. Like you don't need waiters, you don't need servers anymore.
Yeah.
The chef just puts it on the robot serves, and then brings the plates back and forth. Like
yeah, but as a business owner, you buy the thing once and that's it.
Fucking amazing, but it's cutting a lot of jobs out there. A lot of people are dependent on like those wages, but
and then also you have the robots at Incheon Airport.
Oh
like
yeah,
the information robot.
That I feel like it always follows you around. Yeah, that motherfucker just follows you.
I think it creeps me out a little bit.
Man.
Yeah.
It's always behind me for some reason. I'm looking at it and it's always there.
But so there's the information robot at Incheon International Airport. You can go there, and then if you have any questions or you don't know where to go, you can obviously sit and ask this robot, hey, what's up? Where's my boarding gate or where's whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great for like all the people who are technologically not stupid. I wanted to say the R word, but I guess that's not a bad word. It's bad now.
PC, bruh.
Yeah.
Be PC.
But for people who are technologically stupid, it's not a great development because like in the future, as much as these kids are trying to become YouTubers, the jobs are going to change too. And like your specialties are going to change and people are going to get left behind, bro. Like you're going to get replaced and it's just bound to eventually we're going to get replaced as teachers too, you know?
That's the other thing that I was thinking now with the AI kicking off, right? This is just the beginning of AI. I'm telling you now, it's just the beginning.
It's gonna take over the world. It's Matrix,
we don't even
bro.
know what's gonna happen.
Matrix in the making.
But I think and I've been saying this for a few years now. English teachers in general, I think, is slowly gonna get phased out by AI. Because if you look at YouTube, there are a million things you can learn on YouTube. How to do this, how to do that. Anything you can do it on YouTube, right? And then now with AI coming up, and if you have the proper AI with, like, you can make it in a teacher format. Like stupid Siri. There's a problem. AI fucked up. Apple fucked up with Siri. That thing is such a waste. I can't use that thing. But eventually, in the next couple of years, if you can have AI incorporated with like a figure or something, being a teacher. What are we gonna do here?
Nothing. You know how they have those like realistic sex dolls?
Yeah,
You put an AI in there and you have a realistic teacher.
yeah.
You put an AI, you have a realistic worker.
And a
Like,
teacher that's not gonna get upset, a teacher that's gonna be patient.
yeah. But at the same time, like I almost imagine this whole like post-apocalyptic world where you have AI teaching in the class and the kids are just gonna be like throwing things at it, like not listening.
I don't
not
think it's
looking
gonna
in
be in the
front.
class. I think it's gonna be on a screen at home.
Maybe. But you gotta they're not gonna listen and shit like that too. There's gotta be, so the way I see it, yes, that'll eventually happen, but the only way for it to be possible and for it to happen is like some sort of penalty system for these kids. Because if you're an AI, like as a teacher, as a human being, you can see when somebody's not listening, not paying attention,
Yeah.
and you can reprimand them and get them to focus again. As an AI, I'm sure you can do the same thing, but you're not a physical being, right? Like there's no way you can penalize them. A kid can just walk out without saying a word. And like that's kind of where the behavioral issue
And that's what happened with the Zoom classes during COVID.
Right. Kids just turn off their screens and like go
Yeah.
do something off, like go jack one off, and like you don't know. They're just not paying attention, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the problem, right? So like there probably has to be a system in place in tandem where it's like if you get off your seat, like minus points. If you like don't pay attention, if they track your eyes, and if your eyes
Yeah.
divert, like minus points.
Okay, but let's say for some of these parents, right? Like, because we're Hagwon teachers, academy teachers, so it's not like the students have to come to our school. They come there after school programs and they pay extra money for the kids to learn English and stuff like that. So if you take those parents, I'm not saying maybe normal school they'll have the normal teachers, just old school, fashion old school.
Sure.
But if you say like for English academies and stuff like that, if your parents pay this amount of money for this AI and it's a great AI and it's been working and whatever, then they can do it at home. And then if the kid's not studying, they have to do a test, whatever. The kid's not studying, then the parents are going to be like, you're wasting my money. Because obviously there's nothing wrong with the program. You just need to watch the program and finish this program.
No.
Be interactive with the program. So maybe in that sense, there can be a market for that.
Maybe. But what the thing about Korea a lot, what you have to keep in mind is, and maybe this will change in the future, who knows, but the reason a lot of kids go to these hagwons is because the parents want to rotate them through hagwons because they're at work.
Yeah.
So for them to trust the AI and trust their kid to study at home by themselves, it's not gonna happen immediately. It's gonna take quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's more of a safety issue. It's more of a, because like, you know, you go to a hagwon and you've got teachers, you've got supervisors, you've got managers that are watching everything happening, and you can really manage these kids and make sure that they're safe. First of all, they're paying attention, they're actually learning, right? And the parents depend on that. But when you have an AI, you can make sure they're learning. You can try, but you can't guarantee their safety. Like a kid can just walk out in the middle of class and like you won't
Unless
know.
you have a helper teacher.
Right.
Because a lot of Hagwons do have helper teachers.
Right. If you have like somebody who's live just watching, right?
Discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a real person just watching. And then like if they see a kid walking out, they just text their parents immediately, like, hey, your kid just walked out.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah.
But then what are you gonna do? The mom gets the text and like suddenly she's gonna leave work?
No, so this teacher, this helper teacher, right, is going to be the one making sure everyone's sitting, being quiet in your class. This teacher can run like 3 or 4 classes. Don't have to sit there the whole time and watch.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But like if a kid leaves, you text the mom and like, hey, your kid just left the class. What's the mom gonna do?
Well, I don't know, that's their problem. Because what happens now if a kid leaves the class now? And
You
I'm
chase
there.
after the kid.
And then what? You can't touch a kid.
No, but you chase after him and you call the mom and be like, hey, I'm chasing after your kid right now. Like something's happened. Like that's possible, at least.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of scenarios where the kid walks out like that, right? But when you
No.
do, it's possible. Like it's our job to make sure the kid is safe. So, you know, somebody like, if a manager is there, they'll run out and chase the kid and be like, yo, where the fuck are you going, kid? Like, get the fuck back here before I backslap you, you know? But
Yeah.
but like that's kind of what they're paying for. Yes, they're paying for the education, but they're also paying for the safety of the
Safety
child.
and keeping
right?
my kid busy after school until I get
Basically,
home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what it is. So, you know.
Okay, let's go through the next ones quickly. AI again. So Jeju Island. They started a news. There was a news anchor or a news reporter giving the news, an AI.
Yeah.
AI person. I don't know. What do we call them? It's they them. I don't know. AI news reporter. probably going to be some pronoun
Was it
that's
a
going to
woman
come
or
out.
a
It was a female, yeah.
she?
It was a female AI news reporter, and she was giving the news. I mean, yeah, I don't know how to feel about that one, because we're talking about this, and now in the news it says, okay, Korea's first AI news reporter.
The way I see it, bro, either way, the news is fucked. So, it's I
Yeah.
don't if whether AI is doing it or a human being is doing it, it doesn't matter. The
Yeah.
way I see it. And for Korea, that AI boom might blow up faster than any other country because Korea is a very superficial country where, beauty is very big.
Oh yeah.
And you can control that with AI as much as you want. So you get these beautiful or handsome AI news reporters, and it's like you don't need these people anymore.
It would be great if you can select your own news reporter.
I'm sure it'll get there. Be
Yeah.
like, or like you have like these celebrity mock-ups. So I'm sure this is gonna happen too, where the
Yeah.
celebrities will sell their personas, or like for like a licensing fee.
Getting back to what's it called?
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. Getting back to that.
Dude. Like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it's even possible now,
Mm.
right? Like, hey, let us design an AI in your likelihood, and we'll give you a license fee every time we use it, or like
Yeah.
for a monthly fee.
Royalties. Yeah.
Yeah, and we want the viewer to be able to view the news using your face and your body and your characteristics. And it's like, dude, can you imagine people leaving their houses if this becomes the case? Like nobody's gonna leave their house.
Yeah.
Like it's just they get everything that they want at the touch of their fingertips. Like, why do you have to leave your house? Why do you have to go meet people? Like it's dangerous, but it's bound to happen.
It is gonna happen.
Yeah, and it's
I'm
gonna
sure it's
happen
gonna
faster
happen.
in Korea than any other country, I think, my
Yeah.
personal opinion.
So this is another one that's a first that happened in Korea.
No,
Korea was the first country to have a driverless bus.
that's in Seoul right now.
That's in Seoul.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently this bus it came into effect a few months ago, but they're only doing night runs, so night rides,
Oh.
right? So not during peak hours or peak time or whatever.
Is it a short route or is the route like a regular route?
Well, according to the article, it just said like it's doing regular routes, but it's only at nighttime. So obviously when there's not a lot of cars on the road or stuff like that, and yeah, it's in testing phase, right? So they're testing it to see if it's fine, if it's gonna go well, and then they'll probably start working it into all the other routes as well.
Bus drivers losing their jobs, man. Yeah.
Because also in Seoul they have the bus lanes,
Yeah.
right? So it's much
Just follow the
easier.
lanes.
Yeah, it's much easier for the buses to drive around in Seoul because you don't have all the lanes crossing with us and going left and right. They just have the bus lane, stay in your bus lane, stop, go.
And you've got the self-driving with Tesla, and the technology's there,
Yeah.
so I'm sure it's possible.
Yeah.
My concern is, like electric cars, there's a huge problem with them. The sudden acceleration without being able to stop.
Yeah.
Like to a certain extent, you're gonna get these problems, and like, it's not gonna be pretty. Yeah.
Well, those are bugs they need to sort out because I'm sure people are not going to stop making these self-driving buses and
No,
stuff.
no, it's
They're
gonna
just
get worse
try
and
and find
worse.
ways to figure out how to make it better.
Yeah, they're gonna have
Yeah.
self-cooking chefs at a certain point
Yeah.
too. I think voting we should talk about next time only because it's a long discussion when it comes to voting.
Yeah, voting's going to happen next week anyway.
So I think we could talk about the voting process in general, the appealing process, and then we talked about the future, so let's talk about the past in our next episode.
Right. So, especially as a foreigner, you come to Korea and you see all these AI robots and self-driving buses, and you see all these great things with technology. But then you go to a public toilet.
Oh, you talk about it now. Yeah.
Yeah. You go to a public toilet, and you'll see on the door signs, "Oh, toilet, toilet, toilet." Then you see this one. There's a little hole in the ground.
It's more like you'll know what if you live in Korea, you'll know what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like a I don't know. I
It's
don't know
a
how to
hole in the
describe
ground, man. Okay, it's not
The
like
side?
no. I'm saying
Oh, the actual thing.
The actual
it.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a toilet. What is it?
No, it's made of porcelain. Like it's
Yeah,
a toilet.
it's made of porcelain, but
Yeah.
a toilet is something you sit on. You know, like the
Well, it's just an
porcelain
old
throne.
school toilet, man. It's an old
Yeah.
school toilet.
Anyway, it's basically it's a hole in the ground that's made of a porcelain, right? And then your stuff goes down one end, and then there's a jet that blasts water from the other end.
Yeah.
Right. But you need if you want to use this toilet, like let's say if you're a man, you want to do number two, you need to squat down, and do your business.
You pretty much have to pull your pants down to your ankles, like you normally do when you take a shit. And then you gotta squat down and like hold the squat while you drop a deuce.
Yeah.
And then there's like a little if this is the hole, there's like a little thing that pops up here. So if you're just taking a piss, you piss in here so that the splash doesn't go everywhere. So you'll be sitting like this, and your dick is gonna be pointed this way, basically, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna be squatting like this, and you just shit. But squatting is supposed to be good for you when you
Listen,
when you shit.
I've only did it once. I've been in Korea for now 7-8 years.
I've done it
only,
one time. I can't do it again.
No,
Never.
I did it once.
Oh.
I wasn't sure what to do, how to do it.
No.
So I wasn't gonna risk getting something in my pants. So I took my pants
Take it off, yeah.
So I took everything off and I hung it on the door.
Yeah.
And did my business. And let me tell you, it was nice.
It's like this.
Instant.
Fast.
Instant.
It aligns your balls to just come straight out.
Instant.
Yeah, bro.
I was like,
Yeah.
done?
And it's clean.
Done?
Fast and clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it's like,
that's-
oh, it was weird. It was my first time, but yeah, it was.
You know, a lot of people these days, they get the squat footholds or something.
So next to the toilet,
You put it in front of the toilet.
In front of the
So
toilet.
when you're sitting on the toilet like this, you basically have your legs
your
up
feet
like
goes
this.
up. Yeah, yeah.
So you're in like a squatting position. And it's supposed to line your bowels and
Yeah.
make sure it comes out clean and well. So
Yeah.
it's good. It's good.
No,
just
it's good.
uncomfortable.
So I'm just saying, for one thing, for foreigners, when you come to Korea and you see that thing, yeah, you are gonna see them in a lot of places, especially older places. Like
Yeah.
most of these old restaurants and stuff that you go to, they have these old toilets.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen, and then along with that, you're gonna come to some of these cities in Korea, and you're gonna smell how outdated the sewage is.
Sometimes.
Yeah, not all the cities, but some of these cities, you're gonna come in there
Oh.
and walk around and say, yes, that stinks.
You're gonna smell a lot more of the food waste than the sewage waste.
Oh, I don't know, man. Some of these places,
Some of them do, but
some of them are just sewage that just old as sewage.
have you ever been behind a truck that takes food waste?
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
Oh, it's fucking.
Every single night when
It's
I leave work, the truck comes and picks it up, and I always sit behind them.
Yeah, it's terrible, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's similar to that, but I don't know. When
You get
I
it
was
from like the holes in the ground, the vents in the ground.
yeah, all the vents and the stuff in the ground, it comes out from there. And I've been to Hong Kong once, and the same smell was coming out of Hong Kong.
Just human waste.
Yes,
Just traveling in pipes.
disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah, some places in Korea you'll see that as well. And I spoke to a friend in Chungju. He said when they built the sewage and all of that, maybe Mo can help us out, maybe. But
well-
when they built the sewage a long time ago, just started building all these houses and apartments on top of it. So if they want to change that, they need to get rid of everything to. They need to get rid of everything to fix the sewage systems in Korea. So
Their sewage system is based on the old ass squatting method. So it's just kind of, it's not deep sewage. It's just kind of like, it's very shallow from what I hear.
And I guess also the pipes and stuff, it wasn't meant for the Western diets, because
No,
now they're
no.
coming in with a Western diet. I don't think it works.
No.
And the same goes for the toilet paper. So a lot of toilets in Korea, if you use toilet paper to your business,
It gets
you'll
clogged.
see a little trash can next to the side where you have to throw your toilet paper. And that's disgusting.
That's more of a water pressure thing than anything, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like a sewage problem. It's like it clogs right up in the toilet. It doesn't
Yeah.
clog the pipes, right? Like that's the problem.
The toilet paper in the toilet, yeah, gets stuck in the toilet. But I'm
Right.
sure it'll probably get stuck, because so many times outside,
Oh.
in the streets, you'll see these trucks with these long ass pipes. They come in and they have to unclog the
That's the-
sewage.
That's the wet naps.
Yeah, well,
That's the wet naps.
I'm
'cause
sure
sugar
there's
freeze
toilet
on it.
paper that's gets
No,
stuck
toilet
there as
paper
well.
is designed to dissolve in water. That's how it's designed.
Over time,
Right.
not instantly.
No, but like
Yeah.
it's not like
So I'm
It's-
sure if this whole building, if we flush our toilet paper at once, this is gonna get stuck.
maybe
Setting
it'll
it.
fuck up the whole system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what happens. So you've come to Korea and you see there's a trash can next to you and it's covered in
Shit.
shits and toilet paper.
Yeah.
Don't be alarmed. That's
Oh.
normal. You do your business and you chuck it in there.
Yeah.
Some toilets you'll see on the back of the door. It's okay to
To flush everything.
flush. Yeah, you
Oh.
can flush anything on the back of the door. It'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a sign.
Yeah. Right. Next time, voting in Korea.
Yeah. Let's talk about the voting in Korea next time. I think that's it for today, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, and join us again next week. Cool.
안녕히
Bye. All right. So if you like this video, please click subscribe in the middle over here, and check out our links below under the video.
And also make sure to click on the notification icon so that you can stay up to date with our future episodes. And be sure to leave some comments below and let us know what you would like us to discuss in future episodes.